The Muscatine City Council will come to order. Fran, you conduct a roll call, please.
Councilmembers Raywalt.
Here.
Fitzgerald.
Present.
Natfig.
Present.
Shahadi.
Present.
Bynum.
Present.
Phillips. Present. Spread.
Present.
All present, Your Honor.
Very good, friends. Thank you. Folks, would you rise and join me in our Pledge of Allegiance? I pledge allegiance.
one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you and welcome to council chambers tonight. If anyone in the chambers has an item or an issue that they'd like to discuss with council that is not included on tonight's agenda, now would be the time to come forward. Okay, so we
He's
do
on
have
the-
another
no, he's
item.
on the-
No, he's on the agenda.
He's on the agenda.
On the agenda? Okay, then that's me. Good evening, I'm Cass Kelly, 614 Mulberry. Thank you for this opportunity. As the chair of the Riverbend Neighbors, and Muscatine Safe Streets has 16 organized neighborhoods. And Riverbend Neighbors is, let's see, Grandview, Hershey, kind of out then towards the bypass. And Mr. Bynum attends 99.9% of those meetings, so, which I appreciate that he does come to those. All of the different neighborhoods are interesting. They're all live, changing entities. This particular neighborhood has a majority of men, which is interesting in itself. Usually I have a lot of women attend. This group has some fishermen, and they asked if they wanted a petition. And so I filled out a petition for them. And in 1 month, they picked up 408 signatures. That's the total number. The legal number is 363. There's 45 that do not have addresses, or, they signed on the back of the petition, which then makes them void. But I did want you to know they did have 408 total. And the petition reads, the undersigned respectfully requests the City of Muscatine to install and maintain a porta potty at the upper landing on the riverfront year-round. Now, I realize that it's in the plan already to have one in the summertime. These gentlemen they fish in the winter. And when they got all these signatures, I think the most surprise that they had was the majority of these people that signed are walkers. Because I didn't know this either, but I guess the walkers are parking at the upper end, and then they can go both directions. So a lot of the walkers would also like to have a facility up there for their benefit. And again, all year long. So I'm handing the petition to you for your consideration at a later date. It's, not for this evening, but we do want you to consider this as a benefit to the community, the people that fish and boat, and the walkers as well.
So, Cass, before you go any farther,
Sure.
let me clarify something here. You're not looking for a porta potty, you're looking for a permanent latrine.
No, not necessarily. There's, you can get a porta potty that can stay there, so it'd be there all the time. But yeah, not necessarily like a building or anything, but more of a permanent, I don't know what you would call that, a permanent porta potty, just set up there all the time. We have one at this Discovery Center that is out there all year long. So, I know they can do it. So that's basically what they want, is to have something there when they come in off the river and when they're walking.
Okay.
Because it is a long trail, which is a beautiful trail, but that's a long ways to walk. They would walk farther if they could have a brief respite and then be able to move on. So,
Council, anyone have a question for Cass?
thank you.
Go to Fran, don't they?
Yes, not?
Pardon?
Yeah,
Did Fran see them already?
it goes to Fran.
No, they can go that direction, and they've been submitted.
Yeah, so you're saying they really would like two, one in,
No, just one.
We have
Yeah.
a seasonal one
Right.
that starts in May and comes out around
September, October.
Right.
Fran is supposed to.
And they just want it to be there all year long. That's all they're asking.
Okay.
So,
Okay, very good.
all right,
Thank
thank you very much.
And next, under the same category, which is item 4, John DeBeat wants to talk about sister cities.
They have the restroom down at the South End, so. Let you go. Well, I think so.
Well, good evening. Thank you, Mayor Hopkins and City Administrator Greg and council members. It's always a pleasure to be here and stand up in front of you and address you on very important issue to a lot of people in Muscatine, which is the Muscatine sister city. The reason why I'm here is basically just to extend a personal invitation to each one of you to our big event on May 15th, which is the official opening of the Muscatine International Friendship Park. The event starts at 5 o'clock. It's 5 to 6, and we're hoping that around 5:30 we'll have the ribbon cutting and the ceremony and so on. So again, on behalf of Muscatine Sister City, I would like to invite each one of you, and hopefully each one of you will be with us. And also, I'd like to take this opportunity to thank the council again for awarding that piece of land, which we call a pocket park, to be used by Muscatine Sister City for this purpose. So many thanks for that, and hopefully, and I look forward to see all of you with us that day.
And again, John, its location is?
Yeah, the location is, it will be on the corner of 8th Street and Cedar in Muscatine. So thank you again for giving me this opportunity.
Okay. Thank you. Anyone else? Okay, moving down to item number 5, the consent agenda. The following items are considered to be routine by the city council and will be enacted by one motion. There will be no separate discussion of these items unless the council member so requests, in which event the item will be removed from the consent agenda and considered in its normal sequence on the agenda. Is there a motion to approve the consent agenda, which includes items 6A, items 8A through L, items 9A through D, filing of communications 12A through H, and tonight's bills totaling $1,495,931.22?
So moved.
Second.
Sama, and second, Tom. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Motion carries 7-0. Okay, now we're going to drop down to item 7, public hearing. This public hearing concerns the proposed adoption of the municipal code of revised ordinances of 2015, which include titles 1 through 15. Work has been completed by city staff and the city attorney's office on updating the city of Muscatine's current city code, which is now ready for adoption. Prior to formal action by city council, a public hearing is required. Now is the time for the public to comment. Any discussion?
Need to share.
Motion to close.
So moved.
Osama,
Second.
second, Scott. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Motion carries 7-0. Item B. This public hearing concerns the proposed adoption of the 5-year Public Housing Agency Plan. Certain modifications and revisions have been completed to update the plan. Prior to any formal action by City Council, a public hearing is required. Now is the time for the public to comment. Any discussion?
Move to close, Your Honor.
Motion to
Second.
close, Scott. Second, Tom. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Motion carries 7-0. Item C. This public hearing concerns the proposed 2015 sidewalk construction plan. To begin the process of addressing safe routes to school, the city and school district staff identified the 5 highest priority gaps in current sidewalk and trail network with the focus on creating safe routes to school. These 5 routes from the 2015 sidewalk construction, these 5 routes from the 2015 sidewalk construction program That doesn't make sense.
Form.
Form, okay, form. Prior to any formal action by city council, a public hearing is required. Now is the time for the public to comment. Any discussion?
Move to close.
Motion to close, Tom.
Second.
Second, Mike. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Motion carries 7-0. Okay, down to item 11 from the city administrator. First reading of an ordinance adopting the municipal code of revised ordinances. Is there a motion to approve the first reading of the ordinance as submitted?
So moved, Your Honor.
Bob?
Second.
Second, Mike. Any discussion?
Did we get a final clean copy to council on this? I know we've been going back and forth to adjust. Did we get a final clean copy of this?
Yes, it was on
Ordinance
the,
code.
it's on the website, and it's also, it was in the packet last time, but if you just go to the city code portion of the website, you'll see the current code and the proposed code. It's all listed there. It's the same one that was in the packet at the last agenda meeting.
Anyone else? This is a roll call, beginning with Bob.
Aye.
Sama?
Aye.
Scott?
Aye.
Phil?
Aye.
Mike?
Aye.
Tom?
Aye.
And Jeanette?
Aye.
Motion carries 7-0. Item B, final reading of an ordinance rezoning property in the city of Muscatine from R3 Single Family Residential to R5 Multifamily. Is there a motion to adopt the final reading and ordinance rezoning property in the city of Muscatine from R3 to R5 and to direct for its publication as required by law?
So moved, Your Honor.
Tom?
Second.
Second, Jeanette. Any discussion?
Your Honor, there was quite a bit of discussion going from R3 to R5. What's the next step if indeed this council did pass it? It goes to which committee, or who actually is going to work with
Site plan
the homeowner to make sure that the runoff?
Once
Yeah.
once the zoning is complete, the city council is the final authority on the rezoning. When the homeowner goes for, to move the process forward for construction, there's a site plan review committee made up of city staff, utilities, and city engineer, et cetera, that will review the site plan and make any recommended, well, not recommended changes, but any required changes.
Thank you.
That'll be the next step.
Anyone else, council? Okay, this also is a roll call, beginning with Tom.
Aye.
Jeanette?
Aye.
Bob?
Aye.
Osama?
Aye.
Scott?
Aye.
Phil?
Aye.
And Mike?
Aye.
Motion carries 7-0. Item C. It's a resolution approving the 5-year public housing agency plan and authorizing its submission to HUD. Is there a motion to adopt the resolution as submitted?
So moved.
Jeanette?
Second.
Second, Scott. Any discussion? Also a roll call, beginning with Jeanette.
Aye.
Bob?
Aye.
Osama?
Aye.
Scott?
Aye.
Phil?
Aye.
Mike?
Aye.
And Tom?
Aye.
Motion carries 7-0. Item D, which is a resolution approving the plan, specifications, form of contract, cost estimate, and setting a bid opening date for the 2015 sidewalk construction program. Is there a motion to adopt the resolution as submitted?
So moved.
Scott?
Second.
Okay, second, Phil. Any discussion? A roll call, beginning with Scott.
Aye.
Phil?
Aye.
Mike?
Aye.
Tom?
Aye.
Jeanette?
Aye.
Bob?
Aye.
And Osama?
Aye.
Motion carries 7-0. Item E, presented for City Council's consideration is a resolution setting a public hearing for the 2015 asphalt overlay program. Annually, the City of Muscatine solicits roadway maintenance bids for the asphalt overlay program. Funding for the roadway maintenance comes from $500,000 of the 1 cent local option tax, and this year from the increase in gas tax revenue. Prior to any formal action by City Council, a public hearing is required. This hearing will take place on Thursday, May 21st, 2015, at 7 p.m. Is there a motion to adopt the resolution as submitted?
So
So
moved.
moved.
That was Mike over there and Jeanette for the second. Any discussion?
I have one question here.
Yep.
Since we are getting an additional revenue from the gas tax revenue. Is there any possibility fixing more street that it's needed?
Fixing,
More streets?
oh, more streets. Yes, the total here is 700 and change. We'll be getting about $415,000 additional in road use tax. So yes, there is a possibility. We're evaluating other roads and one other additional possibility at this time.
How many miles does the 500,000 cover?
Miles?
Overlay?
Depends on the street and depends
I
on
mean,
the,
well,
and the
I'm
type of
just-
work
you
that
don't
you're
have-
doing.
You don't have,
Right.
okay. All right.
Anyone else, council?
Do we have any bridges that need repaired?
Clay's been done, and no, nothing at this time. If you'd like to.
In general, all the bridges are in good shape. However, on Lake Park Boulevard, we need to redo the deck on that. But the list that we've given the city council as far as overlay projects does include that increase in revenues from the gas tax. And, you know, plus we want to do Cleveland Street, full depth patch on that, which is, will be a major cost also. So we have every intention of putting that $400,000 this year into the roads to fix it. We've actually are doing more overlay work this year than we've done in the past, just because we have the extra money now to do it.
We're also evaluating one other connector project that'll, we'd like to bring forward to council as well.
Pardon me?
Said we're also evaluating one other connector project, connector road, that we're looking at right now, and we'll bring that back for council discussion as well. But this will give us about $915,000 versus the average of $500,000 that we've been able to put towards road maintenance on an annual basis. So a good program and going towards maintenance and important connectors.
And one of the reasons why it's hard to say miles is because the lanes are, you know, they're narrower. Certain streets, Stone Street, for instance, is narrower than Mulberry. So to determine a mileage isn't a fair representation of the value.
That's fair.
Okay.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Anyone else, council? Okay, we have a motion by Mike, second by Jeanette, and this is a roll call, beginning with Mike.
Aye, please.
Tom?
Aye.
Jeanette?
Aye.
Bob?
Aye.
Osama?
Aye.
Scott?
Aye.
And Phil?
Aye.
Motion carries 7-0. Item F, presented for city council's consideration is a resolution accepting completed work for the Geneva Creek Channel Shaping Project. The levee system was recently assigned an unacceptable rating due to sediment and shoaling around the Isaac Avenue Bridge. Channel shaping was required to correct the problem. The project has been completed and is ready for closure. It is staff's recommendation city council accept the work and authorize final payment to Salzburger Excavating. Is there a motion to adopt this resolution as submitted?
So moved, Your Honor.
Phil?
Second.
Second, Tom, any discussion?
If anybody wants to take a look at that, obviously, it's right along the lines of that. It does look really nice. They did appears to be a good job, very good job, so.
Randy, I have a question here. I don't know if that's the traffic committee or is it the city here to put a railing on the side of like where Geneva is. People clean that ditch down there and it's a big drop. And is there any possibility to put?
Sure,
it
I mean, I'll take it.
I don't know who decide on this. Is that traffic committee can evaluate that or somebody? I'm just curious because I remember on Claremont and Tipton, at the end of that, we put a railing there, bridge on Cedar as well. And the drop, I think it's about 10, 12 feet probably on that side. So I don't know if that would be appropriate place for it before any accident happen, just for somebody to evaluate it and see if we can do something like that there.
That's a good point, we will. And we're also looking at kind of a barrier at the end of Kindler at Fulham for the same reason. So we'll take a look at this also, okay?
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay, we have a motion by Phil and a second And it's a roll call, so beginning with Phil.
Aye.
Mike?
Aye.
Tom?
Aye.
Jeanette?
Aye.
Bob?
Aye.
Osama?
Aye.
And Scott?
Aye.
Motion carries 7-0. Item G, presented for city council's consideration is a resolution setting a public hearing on amendment number 2 to the fiscal year 2014-2015 city budget. This proposed amendment will increase total budgeted expenditures by $632,500. Budget revenues are proposed to be amended by $274,700. Prior to any formal action by city council, a public hearing is required. This hearing will take place Thursday, May 21st, 2015 at 7 p.m. Is there a motion to adopt the resolution as submitted?
So moved, Your Honor.
Tom?
Second.
Second, Scott. Any discussion?
What is this, Greg?
This is our second budget amendment. Annually, we amend the budget twice, once when we adopt the next fiscal year's budget, and then before the end of the fiscal year, we adjust, we bring the second amendment for the budget to city council for approval. We have to make sure that all of our functions, see, I was going to say categories, functions are, can't be over, otherwise you're in violation.
Thank you.
Yes.
Anyone else? Okay, this is a roll call, beginning with Tom.
Aye.
Annette?
Aye.
Bob?
Aye.
Osama?
Aye.
Scott?
Aye.
Phil?
Aye.
And Mike?
Aye.
Motion carries 7-0. Item H, presented for city council's consideration is a resolution setting a public hearing on the plans, specifications, form of contract, cost estimate, and setting the bid opening date for the runway reconstruction project. The city has received funding from the Federal Aviation Administration to complete the pre-design and final design of the main runway 624 reconstruction project. Prior to any formal action by city council, a public hearing is required. This hearing will take place on Thursday, May 21st, 2015 at 7 p.m. Is there a motion to adopt this resolution as submitted?
So moved, Your Honor.
We'll give that to Osama, and Scott, you want a second?
Sure.
Okay. Any discussion? Also a roll call, beginning with Osama.
Aye.
Scott?
Aye.
Phil?
Aye.
Mike?
Aye.
Tom?
Aye.
Jeanette?
Aye.
And Bob?
Aye.
Motion carries 7-0. Item I, presented for city council's consideration is a resolution endorsing airport projects for the IDOT grant application and certifying the availability of matching funds. Airport funding through the Iowa Department of Transportation requires cities to take action to officially endorse airport improvement projects and to certify that they do have local matching funds to meet the 15% local share. This action does not commit the city financially to move forward with future your projects in this plan. Is there a motion to adopt the resolution as submitted?
So moved.
Osama.
Second.
Second, Bob. Any discussion? And a roll call, beginning with Osama.
Aye.
Scott?
Aye.
Phil?
Aye.
Mike?
Aye.
Tom?
Aye.
Jeanette?
Aye.
And Bob?
Aye.
Motion carries 7-0. Item J, presented for city council's consideration is a request to approve an audit services amendment or agreement for fiscal years 2014, 2015 through 2018 and 2019. 3 proposals were received for audit services for the next 5 years, with the lowest proposal from Bonsack and Fromelt LLP in the amount of $208,050. It is staff's recommendation the city enter into an agreement with Bonsack and Fromelt LLP for audit services for fiscal years 2014-15 through 2018-2019. Is there a motion to approve the request as submitted?
So move.
We'll give that to Phil and a second to Bob. This is a voice vote, so all those in favor say aye.
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 Opposed, nay. Motion carries 7-0. Item K, presented for city council's consideration is a request to approve the purchase of a dragline hose for the water pollution control plant. A new hose is needed for the annual biosolid application. 2 bids were received, with the low bid from Hydro Engineering for $6,600. There is $6,500 budgeted for this purchase. Staff is recommending the purchase of the dragline hose from Hydro Engineering in the amount of $6,600. Is there a motion to approve the request as submitted?
So moved, Your Honor.
Second.
That was Mike and Phil.
Phil and Mike.
Other way
In
around.
that order.
Oh,
It's all right.
any discussion, council? This is also a voice vote. Did I miss some discussion?
No, you did not.
Okay, this is a voice vote. All those in favor say aye.
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 Opposed, nay. Motion carries 7-0. Council, we are dropping item L on tonight's agenda, and we'll move down to item M. Presented for City Council's consideration is a request to approve the extension of the current 28E agreement with the Iowa Department of Inspections and Appeals. The current agreement expires June 30th, 2015. The department is requesting an extension of the original agreement as flood license fees are being discussed at the legislative level and may change. The department hopes to have some clarity about flood license fees prior to signing a new 28E agreements with contracting agencies. Is there a motion to approve the request as submitted?
Can we change the flood to food, maybe?
What did I say? Did I say flood?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Would you like me to reread it?
No,
No.
don't reread it, that's fine. If you have, okay, that's all.
Everybody just insert food.
Again, is there a motion to approve the request as submitted?
So moved.
Second, Your Honor.
Second, Phil. Any discussion other than the no? Okay, this is a voice vote as well. All those in favor say aye.
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 Opposed, nay. Motion carries 7-0. Item N, which is discussion concerning the 2080 agreement with Muscom, and at this time, discussion will take place concerning that agreement. And Greg, I believe you're taking the ball and running with it.
Okay, we'll go from there. In your packet, you have the recent request for a meeting from the county. You also have the original contract in your packet. You have the Emergency Management Commission Disaster Services Agreement from 1974, 1978. You have the January agreement that the county attorney prepared and staff reviewed. You have the latest agreement provided by the county and staff comments to go along with it. So about a little over 3 months ago, City County prepared a draft Muscom agreement with city comments, and on the 28th, I believe it was, City Council received the revisions from Muscatine County. And in fact, those revisions are a little bit more are in some cases very significant changes to the draft agreement or to the original agreement itself. I thought I'd run through some of the, I think, the major comments or issues. Obviously, the makeup of the board in the proposed draft is something the council needs to consider. There's the elimination of the current Muscom board, replaces it with the current Emergency Management Commission board, which is actually Disaster Services. That board is made up currently of all of the mayors in Muscatine County or their designee. That is made up of one county supervisor and the Muscatine County Sheriff. Another issue that needs to be addressed in the agreement is the budget process and exactly how the budget goes from Muscom or whichever board is inserted in its place to emergency management up to the county board for adoption. Currently, that budget in the current agreement requires adoption by both the city council and the county. Another issue to address, day-to-day supervision of staff and equipment is not satisfactorily addressed from our perspective in the agreement upon dissolution, whether that's in a year, 10 years, 25 years, whatever that may be. We're certainly suggesting that any equipment purchased during the term of the agreement stays with the agency that it was purchased for, whether that be the city of Muscatine, the city of Wilton, the county, whoever that agency may be, that the equipment be, that should stay with the agency that it was purchased for. Those are, I guess, some of the highlights. City staff and the comments are highlighted in the document in blue. I don't believe I left too much out in there. At this point in time, I guess my question is, to the city council is, how do we go forward? Are there items in here you'd like to discuss? We've been asked to participate in a countywide meeting on upcoming Saturday session with all elected officials in the county. From my perspective, I'd like to see city council and staff, along with the Muscatine County Board of Supervisors and staff, get together around the table, and those are the two parties to the agreement, and just let's hash out the terms and get it done, and move forward at this point.
Well, I'm sure whoever sits on the board, I think it's Phil and Jeanette right now here from the city on Muscatine board. My takeaway from this reading the proposed agreement to us, a few issues come to mind here, and I try to tackle that and try to understand it. My first question is, what is broke right now that we need to do an amendment to the existing contract? What's wrong with the board itself that we need to have disassemble this board and put another board in place? And the other thing that I have here that I took from this, it looks to me that the makeup of the Muscatine board and dispose of that, it looks like the county have a full control, more or less, of the new board. And that would, with this being said here, since it's 28 agreement between the city and the supervisors, the county, I think it has to be a win-win for both of us, not as individual city council and the board of supervisor. This has to be a win-win for the citizen of the city as well as the citizen of the county. And I didn't see that addressed in this agreement. It looks to me that it's one-sided agreement here, or a proposal, I should say, that it's throwing at us, and we need to take an action on it. So there's a few questions here need to be answered. I don't know if you or Phil, dealing with them on a regular basis, that you have these answers. But at the same time, I cannot support such an agreement in place here, or this draft, based on what you proposed at the time being. I don't know if the chief of, both chiefs are here. I don't know if they want to comment on this, and I need to know what is broken right now here to go the other direction. Is there some issues that it's not working that we need to make it better? I didn't see it in the agreement, so, and that's my question. So I will stop here. There's more people involved in it on a daily basis and different.
Well, I would like to make a couple of comments. In some ways, I mirror what you're suggesting. We have a perpetual agreement that's been functioning for 10 years. I've read the agreement. Could be stronger, but it's worked. So for some reason, and I'm not sure, I'm looking for context. Why are we rewriting this thing when it's been working for 10 years? That's my first question. Then we have an agreement that was created, as I understand it, by the city administrator and the county attorney. And then there is yet another agreement, and I believe there are multiple drafts of it, but this is the most recent, that is proposed by the county. And that's the one you're addressing, where it really shifts control of the whole function. In my mind, that we have an emergency management commission by code. It exists, it functions, but its function is to manage emergencies. Now, that may come to play with communications, but communications are also ordinary course of business. So I'm not sure it's appropriate to drive the management of the communication feature exclusively by the Emergency Management Commission. I don't know if I'm making myself clear or not. But again, as I read the code, the Emergency Management Commission must exist, and we may have a 28 agreement to facilitate communications. And that's really all we're here to talk about, is facilitating communications throughout the county. So if I understand all that, somebody please help me with the context. Why are we going through this?
Well, a lot of what you're saying is similar to what Osama said. I mean,
Yeah.
the why.
Yeah.
What's the reason?
I'll third that. What are the points of contention with the present agreement that requires a change in the first place?
The original trigger was the suggestion that the funding change, and the funding go from being both a city and county funded program to a countywide levy, and that was the initial trigger for the discussions on a revised agreement.
But
But
we
that
did that about,
happened
what,
in
3?
'09.
How many years that been? 3, 4, 5 years ago? We-
That agreement, the first 2080 was in '04, and the change in the funding to a countywide levy was in '09.
Oh, well, that's 6 years ago. So, and it's
Since-
been working, hasn't it?
And in my opinion, it has been working. I think part of it is they want to have a little more participation by outlying other cities. Right now, it's two county and 2 city representatives on the board.
But wouldn't the 2 supervisors represent the county citizen? I mean,
The feeling originally was that they didn't want to have Wilton or West Liberty. The county would take care of them and represent them. And I think the feeling is now that they want to have a little more participation.
Who's feeling?
I would have to say probably the county.
Okay. I don't know if it's fair to ask, but the police chief and fire chief are here. If they would care to comment their way and tell me what's working and what's not working, or, if that's helpful. I don't want to put you on the spot.
if we need
but-
to put them in that position here,
Yeah.
since it's initiated by the county, and the county need to answer these questions, in
Okay.
my opinion, than putting both chiefs on the spot here, and that will be only one perspective here, what they're going to say, and you need the sheriff comments as well.
Sure.
Maybe he had different ideas as well. So, in my opinion, I think these questions need to be answered by the county or the Board of Supervisors or the head of the MUSCOM right now, who operate on a daily basis. So the question need, instead of putting.
No, that's fair. That's
And
fair.
and
Yeah.
Osama, Councilman, you mean before we take any action on it?
Yeah,
we need
Yes.
to-
that's correct.
Yeah.
So just real quick, from a 30,000-foot level, MUSCOM's working, and it's a joint program, and it works. Every organization has issues from time to time, but from a 30,000-foot level, the organization works. Would you concur with that? And there's really no need to change it, in my mind. The main trigger was, budgeting and how the organization is funded.
But-
It would be the trigger for the new language.
Well, I don't think it's so much of the funding for it, because that was done in '09. It's the upgrade of equipment.
Right.
And the perceived inadequate communications equipment that we have, the handhelds, not the dispatch equipment.
Right.
But right now, the two don't talk well together.
But the funding of it.
But the
and how-
funding of
and-
it is-
and how that's budgeted.
Yeah, and,
Yes.
and I'm not as, if you look at I don't know whether you passed out the Scott County.
Not
That
in
one
this
wasn't,
packet.
that
No,
wasn't
was-
included
that was
in
in
that. Scott County does, in essence, with their communication system, they have representative from the county and the Davenport and outlying cities and so forth. And I was in hopes that we could pattern ours after that one and use representatives. If is it the EMC board? Is that what the Emergency Management Board?
That's what it says, yeah.
If that group wants to be the guiding light for MUSCOM, I guess. I know that there's a couple county board members that thinks there are too many boards and commissions, and they want to cut that back. If there's an organization like the EMC that would want to take over what MUSCOM board has been doing, it's got representatives from all the areas within the county, all the cities, all the incorporated and unincorporated areas. It's the mayors, it's elected folk, which is good. I don't believe there's any strong suit by any one organization. The city of Muscatine doesn't have a power play involved here. I don't know whether the county, they only have the county board of supervisor, one person represented. They have the county sheriff on that group, which gives them a second one, but it's a large board. It's, hey, what, 7 or 8 or 9, 10 people.
The remainder are mayors or representatives, and except during budget, then it's the mayors that are required to attend.
And I guess the day-to-day operations, right now is handled by the current directing board, which is the chief, the sheriff, and the emergency management coordinator. It's Matt Shook. And they do it on a rotating basis to be the chair of that group. But since it's located within the confines of the public safety building, if the other two are not available, the chief is the one that is just down the hall, so he's the one that gets to answer most of the questions and deal with some of the issues. I don't have a problem with the group that the user group is specified here. And that's giving additional representation to an outlying city. It's not putting the emergency manager in charge officially. He's a ex official, so he doesn't have a vote. My concern comes with the personnel, whether if we're dissolving the MUSCOM or Joint Communications Board, and it's going to be the EMC board. Are they EMC employees? Are they MUSCOM employees? Do they maintain their current collective bargaining agreement? When the board, the user group, which is made up of the sheriff and the police chief and fire chief and that group, when they put together a budget, if this is adopted, they put together a budget and it passes to the EMC board for their approval, it should go to the county board and they should look at it and say, we need a 47-cent levy in order to fund this. There shouldn't be any additional control by the county board. I don't want it to be perceived as a county department, which I think there's been some push-pull with some county board members to try to get Matt to take a little more management control of MUSCOM, which right now he's the chair, I think, of the directing board. But I think maybe somebody pushed him a little further than what he should have been pushing, and I think he overstepped his bounds. He was directing as far as hiring and number of part-time employees and who you couldn't basically instituted a hiring freeze.
Does he have the qualification to operate the MUSCOM? I mean,
He doesn't, I don't know whether he has the manager that we have hired, the job description for that manager, they have to be certified. They should be able to step in and dispatch if need be, and she has. The other two others, actually, this is our third manager since inception. One was an interim manager, and then there was another one there for 4 years. And then Lori has been there since. Lori was a dispatcher prior to becoming the manager, so she has the background and experience to run the organization.
There's a lot of questions and some concerns, and I guess from my perspective, I'm not sure why we want to have such a large get together to try and come to some reasonable conclusion to this, to these draft agreements that are out there. It seems to make most sense, like we've done in the past, to have a joint meeting with the city and the county and to hash it out. Do we need a new agreement? If so, why? And let's just hash out those terms and be done. I mean, this is dragged out.
To be clear, it is a two-party agreement, right?
This is a two-party agreement, a city and county agreement, absolutely.
50 people in there.
Yeah. So having when it was proposed to have the meeting that we is being proposed, it was kind of like, why do we need everyone else there? It's just us. You know, so the two parties, if an agreement cannot be made, a new agreement cannot come to the table and be signed by the two groups, then the existing 2009 agreement
Still in
Survives.
effect. Survive,
Yeah.
yeah.
So,
Unless they dissolve it.
Is it fair?
And either party can do that.
Yeah.
yeah, either party can dissolve it at any time with notice, but.
Some.
Is it fair to say that Saturday meeting, it's for us, I don't know who's going to participate in that, are we committed to it? Did we send a respond that we will be there, or should we send an email or a letter, tell them that, hey, we are willing to meet with the Board of Supervisor? Give
I
us-
did not receive
Give us
an
a few
official
dates to
copy.
pick from and
Oh, you
move
never,
forward.
you never did?
I did not. I received a copy from council member. I did not receive an official invite. Or a copy of the agreement. I would suggest that we not attend the Saturday work session, that we ask for a joint session of the two bodies, so that let's come to a resolution and hash out the differences. That seems, and we've done joint meetings historically. It's time for another joint meeting. Let's have a joint meeting and work it out or keep the existing agreement.
I'm sure they have all the answers, otherwise they will not send this amendment to us here. I'm sure they have it, so I don't know if they are satisfactory or not, but I'm willing to listen. I mean, I'm just there. If they can answer all the questions that we asked here.
And we could simply, as far as the organizational structure, we could add a Wilton or / West Liberty on alternating years
That's fine.
to and make it a 5-member Muscom board. And
That is in the draft that was prepared by the county attorney.
Yeah.
It was pretty simple, straightforward agreement, and
Sure.
it worked well, and
They,
it was-
they need to understand, I mean, if they want this to fly here, they need to compromise, you know? And it's not for our own benefit here. Once again, like I said earlier, it's for the benefit of all citizens and the city as well as the county. And that's the bottom line. You need to compromise, come to a good solution that will satisfy everybody, and it will work well for all the citizens. So, and if that's doable, I don't have a problem with that. So, but it cannot be one-sided. And the way I'm reading it right now, it's one-sided contract. That's just my opinion.
I thought it was just me. Because I have a little more, being with this since we started it, I thought I was taking a little too much of a personal view.
It is a fundamental change in control, what's
Oh,
proposed.
yeah, yeah. And the part of that is, in the EMC board, there's a, one of the agreements I saw, from 74.
that's the original disaster
The
services.
original one.
Or EMC.
But it said the county may accept the budget as prepared and pass
Right.
and fund it. Well, may and shall mean different things in contracts.
Sure they do.
Imagine that. And what I want to do, what I would like to see in here is that when whoever is the Muscom board, when they present a budget that they all have approved from all the entities that are participating, they hand that to the county board, it should go without question and be funded on a countywide levy. And I don't know whether the 29C agreement, that one that's referenced there, whether that could be changed, or whether it's part of code of Iowa. Maybe the code says may, not shall. I don't know, but that's my concern is that somebody's going to put a little more force on the manager than what needs to be, and we're moving in a different direction.
Under the agreement that was presented on the January 27th there was a second agreement that that was going to be drafted between Muscom and the Emergency Management Commission that dealt with the financial aspects and the budget, and how that transferred from Muscom to EMC and then EMC on for final adoption.
Right.
And which would have done exactly as you proposed and require adoption as presented by the EMC board. I don't even know if the EMC board has been asked if they're willing to take on this responsibility. Has it been on the EMC board's agenda?
They haven't had a meeting, and again, they would have to
Right.
change job description.
There's a lot, yeah, they'd have to change job descriptions. This is a whole nother job responsibility for the board and its staff.
Well, and they would be taking on, I mean, we have, Jeanette knows quite well that we have been meeting. We meet more than twice a year. We try to meet monthly, if when need be. And most of the time, it's every other month on the average. So 6 to 8 meetings a year. I mean, it's not, I don't take it lightly myself, but I'd hate to think anyone does. So.
So might I suggest that, can I delegate to the mayor?
I think that you can, yes.
That I'd
Would you like me to
ask
do-
the Mayor Hopkins to contact the chairman of the Board of Supervisors and work with the staff to coordinate a joint meeting between the two boards.
Prior to the 16th.
Well,
I don't think we should attend the 16th.
an outlying county citizens, they're county citizens, they can attend a public meeting.
Yeah, exactly.
It's a public meeting, so
Yes.
if they want to attend, great, but if input is requested, fine, if not,
I mean, we'll have to get their approval if we end up putting another community on a board
Correct.
commission, absolutely.
Correct.
But this agreement is between two bodies.
exactly.
So it is the consensus that council is not going to attend that meeting on the 16th, correct?
Yes.
Okay. Anything else, Greg?
No, Your Honor. Thank you.
Okay, down to item 14, communication from council members. Mike?
Nothing tonight, Your Honor.
Bill?
Nothing at this time, Your Honor.
Scott?
Nothing, thank you.
Tom?
I have nothing, thank you.
Bob?
Nothing tonight, Your Honor.
Jeanette?
Don't forget your mother's Sunday, guys. Nothing.
Nothing this evening, Your Honor.
Greg?
Nothing tonight, Your Honor.
Fran?
Nothing, Your Honor.
I do have something. I want to remind everyone that EMS Day is Saturday, May 9th. That's EMS Day, Saturday, May 9th, at Blaine's Farm and Fleet. A message comes from Chief Jerry Evers. Okay, under other business, there is a request to enter closed discussion per Iowa Code 21.5 to discuss potential litigation with possible action to follow. I need a motion.
So moved.
Second.
Phil, and second,
Tom?
Tom, and a roll call beginning with Phil.
Aye.
Mike?
Aye.
Tom?
Aye.
Jeanette?
Aye.
Bob?
Aye.
Sama?
Aye.
Scott?
Aye.
Very good. Motion carries 7-0.